All right, so to get ready for tomorrow, for your test tomorrow, the biggest thing to do, and I'll pull up the review sheet, which is also posted in Google Classroom, but biggest thing right now is you need to know how to do these types of problems. So keep this in mind that when you have going in two different types of directions, so north or south, and also east and west, and they're the only two directions that you're using, you need to use the Pythagorean theorem to figure out what the displacement would be. And in this case, it would be northeast. Remember, know the difference between between displacement and distance. Displacement is a vector, which means you need to have a number and a direction. Okay. Distance will always be positive in nature, and you're adding everything together to do that. So in this case, this would be 3 kilometers squared plus 4 kilometers squared, which is 9 plus 16, which equals 25. To find out what the other side is, you have to take the square root of 25. So the displacement would be 5 kilometers, and it would be 5 kilometers north and east. So it would be northeast. Okay. Number two, again, the Pythagorean theorem. Guys, come on. Help me out here a little bit. I'm doing a video. Well, a little bit quieter would be nice. These are the all right. So this second one, when you're dealing with something like this, again, it's the same deal. You have one east-west direction, and you have one north-south direction. So 5 squared is 25. 12 squared is 144. 144 plus 25 is 169. So the square root of 169 is 13 kilometers. Okay. And it would be, you could either say it's southwest, or if you said southwest because it's more than double what the other one is, that would also be correct. So it could either be southwest or southwest. They're the ways you can do it. Now, this number 3, you see, is 10 kilometers north, 10 kilometers east, and 10 kilometers south. Well, the north and south cancel each other out. Okay. So your displacement would be 10 kilometers east, and your distance traveled would be 30 kilometers total. All right. So just keep those in mind. There's a couple of those types of questions. Make sure that you also go to the do now, the last do now that you guys had to do. The last do now has the most of the objective type questions that are going to be on the multiple choice part of the exam, or not the exam, the assessment. Sorry. I got a lot going on around me right now. So when you look at different things, and of course, why would the products be to open up this easily? Trying to pull up Google Classroom so we can pull up the review sheet so that way you guys can see it. Why would anything be easy right now? All right, let's try. All right. What is going on right now? I have no idea what's going on. All right, let's. Here we go. This one more. So a couple things. Remember your DST triangle. Distance equals speed times time. Speed equals distance over time. time equals distance over speed. So those are the three things that you can use that equation. So that way you would be able to use that. I'm trying to think what else I can give to you guys as a hint. Or this is for AP Bio, so don't pay any attention to that. Let's go to physics and go to classwork. So I did post a video review before. Here's the review sheet for Unit 2, what you need to know. My boy twin Chase is a clown. So you're not a clown. He's a clown. So you need to make sure that you can read the charts, either a position time chart or a velocity and time chart. So most of the charts we dealt with were distance and time charts, but I could mix in speed and time charts as well. You need to make sure you can identify them by the curve. Remember, if it does not start at the origin and it's moving backward, it's moving back towards the origin, that means it is a negative. It's moving back to the origin, which means the movement is actually negative. Okay. You'll need to be able to solve for distance, speed, or time. And remember your triangle. Know the difference between distance and displacement. Distance is the entire path that's traveled by an object and will always be positive. Displacement always refers back to the starting point. Okay, so whatever that starting point is, you could be east of it, you could be north of it, you could be west of it, you could be closer to the cafeteria. You always have to, when we're talking about displacement, have a number and a direction, okay, or some sort of descriptor, and it can be negative because remember, anything to the left or down is negative, anything to the right or up is positive, okay? Be able to describe what the frame of reference means, how it changes when we're talking about motion, depending on where someone is standing. And some of those examples we've talked about before. So if you are sitting on the beach looking out in the ocean and you see a boat going by and it's going from left to right, you are describing that motion as the boat is moving from left to right. If you're on the boat looking in at the beach, yes, obviously, we know the person on the beach isn't moving, but you describing it, that person on the beach is moving because they're moving away from you, right? If you're moving right to left on the boat, then that person is moving to your right. So we say that the person on the beach, in the frame of reference of the person on the boat, the frame of reference states that that person is moving to the right. So go over the last do now quiz. Chase, I'm telling you right now, that's where the majority, if not all, of the multiple choice questions will come from. Even if they aren't the same, they will be similar. Know the difference between scalar, which is just a number only, and a vector, which has both the magnitude and the direction. Know the x-axis is the independent variable, the y-axis is the dependent variable. Be able to read the graphs. Anytime you see a curve, that means there's some sort of acceleration that's taking place, okay? And you need to pay attention to that. A straight line across, a horizontal line going across on a position time chart means that the object is not moving. That's a straight horizontal line on a position time chart means it's not moving. Anything that's a diagonal on a positional time chart means that the object is moving in a constant is at a constant rate. The math problems are going to be a combination between the distance, rate, and time problems. That's the multi-step. That's the 10 problem questions that we did. I can tell you that there are 2 of those on there. And then there is also 2 charts based on the assignment that you guys had, the 28 questions and the different chart with the curves and stuff that were on the graph. There are 2 of those types of graphs. And then there is like a displacement distance question as well. Just make sure that you are taking care of going over the do now and make sure that you have all of that information. Okay. I am going to, so here's what we're going to do. you guys have to report to me in 103 and take the test in room 103. Okay. Pattern two, no. Pattern two, you are going to report down. AP Bio has a test at the same time. Ava and pattern three, you can take it in my office. Book, you can take the AP Bio exam or test in my office as well during three. And then pattern seven, I'll see you guys like I normally do in room 103. If you have any questions, please make sure you reach out tonight. I will be in, I'll make sure that I am in early tomorrow. So that way, you guys, if you have any questions, you can come in and see me. I'll make sure I'll be in my classroom, not in my office. So that way, if you have any questions, we can go over it on the board or anything of that nature. Again, make sure you go over the do now, the last do now that you guys did. You did a lot of you didn't do real well on it. So make sure that you go over it, know what the answers are, know the questions, and be able to explain what's happening on a regular basis in terms of, you're okay, bud. In terms of that, I'm telling you, go over the do now, know those questions, and then be able to do the math. Keep in mind that two of the math questions are going to be two steps where you may have an object traveling from one place to another and then maybe back again. So it's just like that 10 question math practice assignment that I gave you guys. So just keep that in mind. But remember, displacement is a vector, number, and direction. Distance, just scalar, just a number. All right. Hopefully that helps. I think you guys will be fine. There's no reason to be nervous about it. You guys will do a good job, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.